I was running a family business, and I'd ran the business successfully for probably about 20 odd years or more. Over a period of time I was getting very forgetful in how I was running the business. I was using lots of post-it notes and I mean, running a business independently does take a lot of doing. So I was on the impression, well, there's a lot going on and it's just one of those things. I was finding it so difficult to do any of the basic calculations that needed to run the business. So it was becoming a big problem, and I was making some very bad decisions within the business, which I didn't realise at that point in time. My wife noticed that things were going wrong, and eventually we got the diagnosis, and it was early onset Alzheimer's, and that was at the age of 50. Alzheimer's in somebody in my age group is a different ball game to somebody who is, we'll say, in their late 60s, 70s and 80s. The condition is the same, but it reflects on our lives completely differently. We have financial commitments. People in my age group have mortgages, and in some cases younger families. And not being able to work, not being able to earn a living in this age, at the age of 50 and early 50s is such a terrible thing. It impacts every part of your life. It's not just a diagnosis for me. It ripples out through the whole family. So it becomes a difficult thing to cope with from both sides of the fence, I suppose. One of the issues in a day-to-day life is obviously shopping, doing a weekly shop or whenever I go down to our local supermarket. The problem is that going into a supermarket, I might have been in there many times, but in actual fact it's just like the first time I've ever set foot in there. I know nothing where nothing is. If they've moved anything around since the day before, I would have no knowledge. The noise, the amount of people, and also what we have to do when we get there, it just becomes so overwhelming. Even things sometimes like packing the shopping away. It's something that people don't actually realise. You're taking it off the checkout belt and you're putting it in the bag. Sometimes just putting the stuff in the bag, I sometimes stall halfway and now am I putting this in the right bag? Is this my bag? There's so many elements that are going on that makes a very simple mundane task so very complicated. When I was first diagnosed, it gradually sunk in. And over a period of time, I suppose, the trouble is you start to think about the enormity and all the bad things that are going to happen. What am I not going to be able to do next? How am my family going to cope? What's going to happen to the mortgage? All of these things. And it became quite a worry and probably a very depressing place to be. I found that exercise, especially cycling, that I really enjoyed, helped me get away from the bad things that were going to happen. When I go cycling, I leave my dementia at home, and that's a very important thing to do. It's very important to get away from it and become, I suppose, what you were as opposed to what you are. So I joined in with a Facebook page called Dementia Help. There's a lady who runs it who cared for her mother for many years and started up the Facebook page, and then she asked me to come on board and help her as somebody with a lived experience of dementia. And I came up with this idea of challenging my dementia and also raising money for Young Dementia UK to cycle across the country from Wales right back through to Aldeburgh in Suffolk. It's a challenge for me personally on many different levels because it'll be different environments and different things to cope with. But it's also to show people that in actual fact life with dementia is not over. It's just quite a bit different, and I'm hoping that I can inspire others to either get out and go walking, go gardening or go cycling. It doesn't matter whether they cycle across the country or whether they cycle up the lane. They're still leaving their dementia at home, and that's what I want to try and prove to people that they can do. I'm just a normal guy who is just doing normal stuff. So my what I'm trying to say to people is, look, if I can do it, then why can't you? Why can't you just get up and just do what you want? What's to stop anybody? My name is Peter Berry, and I was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at the age of 50, and I am now 53. I don't believe that I suffer with Alzheimer's, I live with Alzheimer's.